Okay, so I have to do a few things today. Would you like to join me? Having swallowed her last bite, she replied, Sure. What do we have to do? Well, two things. Number one, I have to go grocery shopping. And number two, we have to replace the burnt out headlight on your car. Oh, yeah. I've been meaning to get that fixed for like ever. Well, no worries. We'll take it down to my auto guy today, and he'll tell us what to buy. Then he'll probably fix it for us for cheap. That is so sweet of you. Okay, then let's take my car to the grocery store as well. Perfect. Maybe tonight we can watch that movie that we were supposed to last night. He thought about her comment for a moment. Oh, do you want to stay the night again? Yes. Is that all right? Well, he paused. Let me think about it. She had a little bit of a bewildered look on her face for a second. Then he replied, I'd love you to stay. I was just letting you sweat just a little bit with me pausing like that. Yeah, she cried out loud as she hugged him and kissed him. Okay, we've got some things to do today. Let's shower up and head out. Without thinking, and to be respectful, she left his bedroom to shower in her private bathroom, while he scooted off to shower in his. Sometimes it's nice to shower by yourself, even though you've been naked with someone for several hours like they had been. Also, because they were in a hurry to scoot out the door for their errands, showering separately allowed them to focus on cleaning themselves up and then heading out. No delays and no long smooches in the shower, no nothing. Just clean up and head out. When they were ready to leave, she handed him her keys. Here, you drive. You know the way, and I'd like you to drive if that's okay. Sure. It might be better since I do know where we're going. She loved turning over the leadership position to him, and how he took the keys without hesitation, in essence, accepting her invitation to lead the way that day in her car. While out and about, their first stop was the mechanic. He asked his auto guy what was wrong and was told which specific brand of headlight bulb to buy based on her car model. They hopped over to the nearest auto parts store down the block, bought the right part for less than $20, headed back to the mechanic, and within 10 minutes, her headlight was fixed. As they drove away from the mechanic, she couldn't help but to think how sweet it was for him to notice such a thing in the first place, care about her safety like that, and take the kind of action he did to remedy it so quickly. This was a real man who really started to show that he had what it takes to really care for a woman, albeit in small ways to start. No bling bling or lavish spending sprees, so to speak. No. More importantly, where her heart, life, and safety were concerned, that's where his focus was, and she loved it. Any woman can walk around showing off all the expensive gifts her man bought her, but at the end of the day, does he care about her heart? That is a priceless role real men must play first and foremost. When she puts her head on the pillow that night, and the expensive car remains in the garage, or the dress is hung up, or the shoes put back on the shelf, is she being held, heard, hugged, cuddled, talked to, or made love to for hours on end? In most cases, no. All that bling bling bought for her acts more like a band-aid, covering some kind of hole in her heart that can only be filled with non-tangible acts of love and kindness. Hey, real quick, what's up with your brakes? I can hear them squeaking a little bit. As he did the driving around town now. Yeah, I think I need to get those looked at too. Well, my tire and brake guy is just down the street from the other mechanic. We'll stop quickly and get a quote. Really? Oh, you're so sweet. She sat on the passenger side all giddy and happy, just smiling and even crying just a tad. Something he didn't notice, but just a small little tear ran out of her eye. She had never had anyone look after her like this before. It's all good. Hey, I don't want you driving around town with bad brakes and a headlight out. I want you to be safe and sound on the road, especially when you're driving back to me. A quick stop at his tire and brake guy informed them that the job would cost no more than $120. Our Romeo liked that the crew there were super affordable, fast, and the work they did was always, again, fast and thorough. All right, what we'll do is we'll go back to get my car. We'll drive back separately to the tire brake guy, leave your car with him, take my car to the grocery store, and pick your car up when it's ready in about an hour or so. They drove back to his place, got his car, and drove back to the tire brake store within minutes of him talking to the boys at the tire brake store. Okay, great. Hey, we'll see you in about an hour or so, and just give me a call when it's done, as he gave her keys to the mechanic. They then headed to his car to make a run for groceries. Since this was her first time riding in his car, he walked around to her side of the car to open her door. You know, if you want to ride in my car, I need a kiss. Oh, and I want a kiss for what I'm doing to help you get your car fixed as well. I work for kisses. None of this help here is free. You know that, right? I charge. Now, pucker up and lay a few on me. Absolutely. I could totally afford your fees. As she leaned up to kiss him against the door and gave him a sweet couple of kisses. Some of the men who worked at the tire brake store caught a glance at what she was doing to him, just kissing, and they smiled. Hey man, look at him. She's kissing him. He must be a really great dude. Come on, let's work on the car and get them all fixed up. As they drove to the store, she couldn't help but to smile. In 1 hour, he was helping her fix 2 very needed things related to her car. Things she had been putting off for months because she didn't know where to go or who to ask, really. Sadly, many of us postpone fixing important stuff like that because we're just too darn busy managing other aspects of our lives, or we're kind of afraid of what the bill might be like. He sensed that and swooped in to save the day, so to speak, and while putting her at total ease at the same time. Smiling so much and looking over at her while he drove, he asked her, "Why are you smiling so much?" "I just can't help thinking how sweet of a man you are. No man has ever volunteered to help me like that, in the way you've done. I mean, you took action. You took care of a problem I had been putting off for months. You talked to the right people, and within minutes, everything was done or getting worked on. When I do stuff like that, it takes way too much time, or I don't know what to ask or where to go. You just make it all look so easy." He smiled back at her and said, "Hey, I want you safe and coming back to me, all right? It's as simple as that. These things are simple, though. Quick. I mean, look how much time they took us, and yet their impact is huge. That's how I look at things, and you're worth looking at and looking after." She blushed again, leaned over, and kissed him while he kept his eyes on the road. Soon they arrived at the grocery store. After parking, they got out of the car, and he waited for her to come around from her side of the car by the trunk so that he could grab her hand as they walked through the parking lot. This was something she hadn't experienced in a long, long time. A man seeking out her hand and holding it in public for all to see? She was beyond elated and giddy as a schoolgirl holding hands with her new man. As they walked into the store, he grabbed a cart and pushed it. She grabbed his arm, and they proceeded to go up and down the aisles, tossing things in their cart as needed. "What would you like for dinner tonight?" "I don't know. Surprise me." "How about my world-famous sweet potato soft tacos with sautéed shrimp or chicken?" "Really? You make them with sweet potatoes?" "Wait till you try them. They're out of this world." "Okay, you're the chef, and I love all your creations so far. I can't wait. Oh, hey, do you like margaritas Absolutely. All right, let's get some margarita mix, some limes, and I think I have some margarita salt at the house. Oh, I feel like I'm going to a Mexican restaurant tonight, but at your house. Well, practically. Wait till you have this dish. Even to my surprise, the sweet potatoes make for such a great filling inside the soft tacos, or little burritos, as what they really are. It's just fancier to say soft tacos, and everybody knows what that means. You don't even need the meat, just peppers, onions, cilantro, shredded cheese, tortillas, maybe some rice and black beans, and you're set. Dinner is served. Pour them margaritas, baby. Oh, I'm getting hungry right now, just thinking about it. I can't wait. Well, we'll have a light lunch or snack if we need to before dinner. But yeah, save your appetite. These are going to be so delish and filling, yet light and healthy. As they finished up their shopping, she couldn't help but think what a wonderful experience it was to have such a man look out for her, help her, take care of things for her. Things that a man should be doing for his gal. The men in her past never did anything like this at all. She mostly served their sexual needs and got little to nothing in return. They never went above and beyond for her. It was this apparent contrast that was soon making one thing very clear. If it were to come down to a choice, whether to be with this kind of man or be single, she would rather be single and die alone if she couldn't find a man of this caliber to be with. Even after only a few days of spending an intense amount of quality time with him, there was no going back to the duds, jerks, donkeys, fools, losers, cheaters, and boyish simpletons she had been dating. Flirting with men in bars and then running away when things got serious because they turned out weird or clingy, or was approached by men who didn't respect her space when out in public. She was now on a newfound journey to see where this relationship would take her. Time would tell, of course, but so far, things were working out in ways she never even dreamed of. "Hey, before we check out, do you need anything in particular?" he asked. "No, I think I'm good. Thanks for asking, though." She then thought to herself, that was so nice of him to ask. "I do need to hit the body soap aisle for one of those body bath sponges and some body soap. I'm running out." "Sure, let's do it." All throughout the store, he was making sure he never left her side or even let go of her hand, even if he had to reach high on a shelf for something. He held her, and she held him throughout this entire store shopping experience. They never broke contact. They even kissed a few times. She was so enamored just walking with him, going through all of this. Even customers in the store walking around were looking at them and smiling. She had never gone shopping with a man like this before. She was smitten. As they finished up their shopping, he had one more stop to make in the store, the flower department. Yep, our Romeo is a true romancer. He loves picking out just the right type of flower for that special occasion. In this instance, he was with his gal. So why not head over to the flower department with her, look around, and pick out the perfect arrangement? As they walked towards the flower department, she said softly, no one has ever bought me flowers." "Well then, allow me to be the first. Let's see what we have here. Hey, how about these yellow roses with red tips? These look actually pretty good. Do you know what the color of this type of rose means?" No, I don't think so." When yellow roses have red tips, they symbolize falling in love, unlike red roses that are a symbol of love already established, between two people per se. So for our new budding relationship, I say we get these. I agree. These are also a good time to buy these. Look, they haven't even opened up yet, and they're in pretty good shape. They should blossom in a day or so and last at least a good week, maybe longer. In fact, whenever you decide to go home, you can take these with you. Great. Yeah, I'd love to stay a few days at your place if that's okay with you. I'm really having such a great time. I don't want to go home. I was hoping you'd say that too. She kissed him as he reached for one of those clear cellophane sleeve bags to place the dripping wet waters in. When we get home, if you would, I have a couple of small vases. Would you mind just prepping these flowers and placing them in a few different spots around the house? Maybe place one by your bedside, one in your bathroom, and another by the kitchen table or something like that. That's about 4 roses per glass. Everywhere you go, you'll see these flowers and you'll be reminded of me. When you do leave, though, don't leave. I don't want you to leave. When you do leave, you can take them with you and place them in your house to remind you of me. Oh, thank you. I love that. Having picked out the right kind of flowers, he spun the cart around and they headed for the cashier. As they checked out, the cashier picked up the flowers to scan. She then commented after seeing her arm around his, "These are beautiful. Are they for you?" "Yes," she replied, smiling. "You're a very lucky woman. He's a nice guy. He comes in here all the time. You're very lucky to be with him," she said to her with a smile. She never expected to hear anything like that from anyone, let alone out loud, like that, and in front of others. This was third-party confirmation that the man she was with truly was some kind of Prince Charming. Everywhere he goes, people must really seem to like him. That says something when strangers you don't even know personally volunteer to talk nice about someone without being asked. The mechanics were absolutely friendly to him. And now some random cashier clerk? Her mind raced back, thinking about all the orgasms, meals in bed, their naked full-body vitamin E lotion massages, midnight and twilight kiss-a-thons, and now flowers, breaks, a new headlight, and some random stranger confirming what she was thinking this whole time. She turned to him. He smiled at her, and she put her head down on his shoulder, as if to appear a little embarrassed from all this affectionate attention she was getting. It didn't help that the women standing in line behind her were also smiling at her, happy for her, and wishing they were in her shoes, loved and cared for so affectionately by this man. He winked at the clerk for saying such a nice thing, and out of the blue. He paid the bill and spun the cart around to head back to the car. Walking out of the store, arm in arm, smiling the whole way, she looked down at the flowers he bought her. Yep, love was in the air and starting to rush through her mind like the rushing rapids flowing fast down a clear river stream. What else might happen today? It seemed every minute or every hour of the day something popped up that he got involved in that made her smile, blush, look back, reflect, and smile again. Oh, there's something worth mentioning. Thus far, not a single argument, disagreement, difference of opinions, a raised voice, nothing of the sort. Just fun, smiles, getting along, kisses, hugging, snuggling, cuddling, spooning, naked pillow talk, and conversation, coming, and orgasms. Oh, and breakfast in bed, buying flowers, fixing her car. Seriously, is this guy a fantasy boyfriend, or is he for real? Now in the car, they drove back to the mechanic shop to pick up her car. When they arrived, they both got out to see how things went with fixing her car. "It's all done, sir. Let's get you checked out." "Yeah, how much?" "That'll be $127. "Wow, that's a really good price for what they did to your car," he said to her. "I know. I was quoted twice that at some other auto shop by my house. I think you saved me like $100 or more." They paid the bill. She got into her car, and they drove back to his place. On the way home, driving her car alone, following his car back to his place, she couldn't stop thinking. Flowers? My car is fixed. Headlight and brakes? Everyone around him strangers, talking so nicely to and about him. He's so likable. And now we're heading back to his place for dinner, margaritas, a movie in bed, naked, maybe another orgasm. And, I don't think I ever want to return to my reality ever again. I'm starting to prefer his world to mine. There's such a stark contrast to it all that is becoming quite evident the more time I spend with him. I'm absolutely getting hooked and addicted to him, his place, his space, his way of life, his aura, personality, his take charge, get things done attitude and leadership, among everything else there is about him. They arrived back at his place in quick time. He pulled into the garage and parked. She pulled into the driveway and parked behind him. Pulling in behind him reminded her of when he was making breakfast, and she was standing behind him, hugging him with her head resting on his back, keeping herself warm by his warmth. What a vision. She paused just a few more seconds to ponder just that, and many other thoughts as she was preparing to get out of her car to go inside. Here I go again, she said to herself. Into his house for another round of what? Pure fun, smiles, pleasure, touching, hugs, and him cooking for me again? Me being naked with him half of the day and all of the night? Oh, gee, what am I waiting for? Let's get inside and start this party. They grabbed all the groceries from his car and walked inside. By this time, it was late afternoon, and they kind of needed a little nap. Remember, our lovers are not getting much sleep these days. They're up all night, kissing, orgasms, and massaging each other, among other things. So, a nap just might be what the love doctor ordered. Besides, dinner was a couple hours away anyway. They both agreed a nap would be great after putting away all the groceries. So, they quickly put them away, washed up a bit, and headed back to his room, where they stripped naked and hopped back into bed. Snuggling under the covers to get warm, they kissed some more, and some more, and then some more, and then more. Kissing, moist lips locking, tongues swapping, and licking lip kisses was just what the nap doctor ordered before nap time. I just love your kisses, she said. Your lips, they're so soft. And I love my lips, your lips, yes, kissing the way we do. He smiled and said right back to her. Their passion, adoration, infatuation, obsession, and intense preoccupation with an aroused attraction between them conjured up memories of nakedness and pleasing one another last night and the day before. Oh, and the night before that on the phone. She was starting to get lost in his world of romance, fantasy, nakedness, over-the-top care, treatment of her heart, body, and soul. Now she was about to nap with him, naked again, kissing him, naked again. Suppose this lifestyle of his never ended. Suppose it just goes on and on like this for weeks and months on end. What am I going to do? She asked herself. They then slowed down their kissing to spoon and drop off into their quick little nap. In about 45 minutes to an hour, they'd wake up hungry for dinner. So off to Zealand they went, after he set an alarm for that period of time to be sure they didn't oversleep. His arms around her all the time while they napped made her feel so special and loved all over again. He loved to smell her hair from behind her and spoon his naked midsection against her naked back, butt, and legs, making sure his feet were under hers to keep her feet warm. His whole body was warming up quickly to keep her body warm too. She slept like a baby in his arms. He did too. They were out like Christmas lights for a quick napola. While our lovers napped, they smiled all the way into their cozy sleep state.